Hey, my name is Captain Vincent. Next to me is Chris Ford.
Hello.
Today we want to share a video with you about model-based practices, or some may call it model-based approach. A model-based practice is a teaching strategy that allows physical education teachers to instruct in a variety of different ways to allow all students to be successful in their PE program. It deviates limitations of that PE teachers will encounter when trying to teach lessons. There are different types of model-based practices, such as cooperative learning, sport education, TGFU, which is teaching games for understanding, TPSR, which is teaching personal and social responsibility, health-based physical education, and experiential learning are the main models. Today, Chris and myself want to talk about sport education. So, what is sport education? Sport education is an instructional-based model that provides precise, educationally prosperous sports experiences for students enrolled in a physical education program. So there are three main goals for a sports education model. These are competent, literate, and enthusiastic. So a competent sports person is an individual that develops skills needed to perform well in a sport. These individuals also have gained understanding and have built strategies to make a knowledgeable game player. So a literate sports person understands rules, regulations, and traditions of sports. They have learned what they need to do to improve the practice for sport. An enthusiastic sports person, they participate in sport to live an active and healthy lifestyle. They also educate others on sport education. Sport education comprises of different sports forms, such as individual sports, team sports, fitness programs, and Olympic-based festivals. The sports education program approach may not be for all students in your class. Sports does not work well when equity issues are not fully addressed or resolved. Equity can be promoted by making rules and policies that give students a fair chance to participate, such as having all your players play every position on every team, every sport. Team rules are voted by all the class, so everybody has their input, and all players get to play the same amount of time each game. Now Chris will take over discussing key features that give sport education inside depth.
Okay, now what I'm going to talk to you about are the adaptations of characteristics for organized sport. There are 6 key features that give an identity. So the first is seasons. It's a time period that is selected based around a sporting event, such as teaching basketball and physical education class during basketball season. Affiliation is students staying on the same team. This allows the team to work together and make group decisions, gives them experience with success and failure as a group. Then there's formal competition. It is developing a schedule of competitions, lets the team make decisions, and gives a focal point for practices and preparation, as well as allows for fairness and participation. Next is culminating event. It's ending the season with an event, such as a tournament, that incorporates all the students who participate. Record keeping is keeping public records to teach strategies and assist the students in learning, provides a backdrop for the competition. And lastly is festivity, which is making their seasons and competitions as festive as possible. From a resource online, I found the key teaching roles and student roles for sports education. The teaching roles are student-centered instruction. Teaching is presented to guide the students. Teacher must establish rules before beginning the sport, instruct and assess the students' learning, using team teaching and using grading methods. Student roles are team captains, such as a coach, a stats keeper, record the stats of the team. Manager will be equipment manager, setting up a court. Referee is someone who requires the rules and the etiquette of the sport. Player Participating member of the team and scorekeeper is the person who keeps the tally of the game score.
So from the Metzler's text, we found some planning tips for sports education. Some of these are allow students as much decision-making and responsibility as they can handle. Provide students with clear parameters. Do not allow selection of teams to be a public process. Picking teams can become a sticky situation. Pick them evenly as a teacher yourself so nobody gets harmed by being left out or not being captain. Make sure teams are mixed. Having heterogeneous groups are the best way. This makes things more fair and fun for everybody.
When teams have been signed, do not allow the students to focus on what the team lacks. Try to focus on each team member's abilities and work together to achieve a team goal. Let students determine the age-appropriate versions of the sport. So make the court size smaller or use 3-on-3 in a game of basketball. Make it feel like it's a real sport league, develop team names, announce the games, post results of the games, and keep a festive atmosphere. Keep responsibility of the roles authentic, so students get a full experience with the problems and rewards that go along with their jobs.
Alright, we're going to start a different thing in PE today. We're going to start something called sport education model. That's where we're going to pick a particular sport. I mean, it's basketball season right now, and we're going to kind of go through a season as a class. So it's basketball season, so we're going to use basketball. You get to be more involved with the sport. You get to play. Some of you will get to be the captain or the coach of your team. You get to pick your team name, sorry. And some of you will get to referee, some of you will get to keep score. So you are involved in practice, and you'll get to play, and we'll have a postseason. We'll kind of have a tournament there at the end. We'll have one champion, all right? We will have a preseason where you get to practice with your team. You can come up with plays. Your coach is in charge of whatever you're doing at practice. You get to come up with plays. You can work on shooting, anything. All right, that'll be kind of preseason. Then we'll have a regular season where you'll get to play all the teams, and then whoever has the best record and stuff will have a postseason, a tournament top style. Each game will be a half-court play. All right, we'll play on these two main goals when you're playing, and then when we have the championship game, we'll play full court.
The video clip you just seen is a demonstration of how the sport education approach can be used in your PE classes. You can see that he talks about different aspects of sport education before he starts class. Things such as the particular sport and why they are playing it during this time of year, which reflects back on the seasons we talked about previously in our video. He then talks about the roles of students. There will be team captains and coaches assigned to each team, along with scorekeepers and referees. He then talks about preseason, regular season, and postseason. Preseason is when everybody will develop skills needed to play the sport. Then your regular season, everyone will play each other and points will be kept. Your postseason will then be for those teams which have the best record and they will play the championship.